right, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Top of the day, everybody. Hi, beautiful people. Trayna, Shayla, Lavon, Belinda Brown. Hey, girl. And everybody else. Okay, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It is July the 7th, 2021. Day 200. We're the 200 mark day, y'all. Year 3. Yes. Day 200 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets and of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 869. Today we're reading Isaiah 46, 47, and 48. Then we're going to pick up where we left off on Fossilized Customs yesterday on page 213. All right, y'all. So let me just go ahead and warn you ahead of time. Alicia, yeah. Hey, girl. Hey. I'm moving a bit slow this morning, right? My energy levels have dropped, right? So moving a little slow. I'm trying to drink some water. I realized probably still not drinking enough water, right? Because I'm doing lemon water, and sometimes I think yesterday I put too much too much lime in it. Yesterday it was extremely tart. I just add a little bit more water in it, but I'm not sure if that dehydrated me some or what, but it seemed to make me more thirsty. But I just only sipped a little bit more. But I woke up throughout the night, a couple times. And then I went back to sleep, but it seemed like the more I slept, the more tired I got. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I definitely think it's the water. Although I feel dehydrated, not as much as I have been the last couple days, so I know it's getting better. Simply because I didn't wake up with cotton mouth this morning. But I'm still not drinking enough. But am I doing? No. Look, I did have some like the second day. Alicia asked me if am I doing coconut water. But I thought about it today. If my energy levels don't pick back up by the end of the day, I'm probably definitely missing something. Although I'm using like the alkaline 88 water, it's alkaline and it has minerals and stuff added to it, electrolytes. I learned from my last fast. I'm definitely going to start adding in the coconut water early because I'm not taking supplements. Although I don't necessarily need them, but because I'm doing this fast by myself and not under the supervision of a doctor, I really have to watch my body and listen to it, So I'm like, yeah, this is way more tired than I was the last time. I'm not exactly sure yet what I've done, but I'm tracking. Now I'm tracking my water and stuff in my Fitness Pal journal and stuff, and just to see if I can see a pattern or something I'm doing, right? Okay. But also probably my life is a little more active than other people, and I have smaller children I have to keep up with during the day, and the different meals, the different meals and stuff and the things that I'm required to do. So a lot of people I notice when I see them recording their fast, they don't really have a lot of activity around, or maybe their children are grown and out. So I think I have that extra added what you want to call it, variable added to my life. Not that it's extra, but while you're fasting, sometimes it can be a bit much. So I still think I'm doing too much during a water fast. That's what I really think it is. So I'm really pay attention to what I'm doing because I really should be resting for the most part. So I need to enlist the help of my older children. Listen, go do this, go do this. When I'm at max strength, I need to prep my meals when I got all that energy going on, you know. But yeah, I am. Alicia, if my energy don't pick back up by, I want to say by about 4 or 5 today, probably even 3, I got a bunch of coconut water on deck anyway, you know. So, and I know that it shoot my energy levels back up like almost immediately. So, but yeah, all right, y'all, let's go ahead and do the Shema. So I just wanted to say that because I feel like I'm moving slow. I even after I got out the shower today, when I was getting my stuff out the drawer, it was down in the bottom drawer. I had to get something, and I got down there, and I just went all the way to the floor, like in praying position. I'm like, oh my gosh! And Jace came out the back. He said, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah, I just my energy. Just give me a moment." He said, "You okay? You need help?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good. Just give me a moment. I think I'm not drinking enough." He said, "What you need?" You know, so we would get bottled water and stuff. I said, "I'm okay." I had already sucked one down before I got in the shower and stuff. So just got to be careful. All right, y'all. But yeah, so I feel like I'm moving slow, and I feel like I'm talking slow too. So if I'm talking too slow today, and y'all just, I'm like, you know what, sis, I catch you on the replay. This is too slow for me today. I understand. I do. I understand. Okay. Whew, okay. All right. Yeah. 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 My voice. Yeah. I'm normally, because I can feel it. Like, and I think I did. Yeah. I was doing the readings when I was doing my last 40-day fast, and I don't even um remember my activity in the morning ever being so slow. It normally happens throughout the evening, but yeah, my rest went. I was rested, but I don't know. Yeah, so like I said, I may go ahead and get that coconut water earlier than later today. So not your sound, your volume. No, my volume is all the way up. My volume. That's just my voice. I realized even when I went to holler at my kids yesterday, it took so much just to yell. Like it took energy to yell. I'm like, ooh, wait a minute. Like I felt winded from trying to yell. So dehydration, yeah, probably so. So I'm gonna be sucking this down. I sucked down a whole bottle before I got on. Like I'm working on this other one. Okay, y'all. Let's do the Shema. The Shema is found. Okay. The Shema is found in Deuteronomy chapter 3. And remember, read the entire chapter 4, full context. We started at verse 3 and just pull all the meat and potatoes out so you get the gist of what is being said here, right? Hear, therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahuwah, the Elohim of our fathers, has promised us in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah, our mighty one, he is one. And you shall love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart. Hold on, baby. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. And Yahuwah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahuwah, our mighty one, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahuwah, our mighty one, as he has commanded us. Okay. Go get your daddy. You got it? Elijah. Go get it to your daddy. Get it to your daddy, baby. Okay, y'all. Plus my grandbaby's here too. All right. And I didn't realize it really takes a lot of energy to move with the family. It really does. Whew, I gotta make sure my body is in top working order at all times, y'all. Hold on. All right. Isaiah chapter 46. Baal and Nebo. This is talking about Babylon's false gods. Bel and Nebo, the gods of Babylon, bow as they are lowered to the ground. They are being hauled away on ox carts. The poor beast staggers under the weight. Both the idols and their owners are bowed down. The gods cannot protect the people, and the people cannot protect the gods. They go off into captivity together. Listen to me, descendants of Jacob, all you who remain in Israel. I have cared for you since you were born. Yes, I carried you before you were born. I will be your God throughout your lifetime until your hair is white with age. I made you and I will care for you. I will carry you along and save you. To whom will you compare me? Who is my equal? Some people pour out their silver and gold and hire a craftsman to make a god from it. Then they bow down and worship it. They carry it around their shoulders, and when they set it down, it stays there. It can't even move. And when someone prays to it, there is no answer. It can't rescue anyone from trouble. Do not forget this. Keep it in mind. Remember this, you guilty ones. Remember the things I have done in the past. For I alone am God. I am God, and there is none like me. Only I can tell you the future before it ever happens. Everything I plan will come to pass, for I do whatever I wish. I will call a swift bird of prey from the east, a leader from the distant land to come do my bidding. I have said what I would do, and I would do it. Listen to me, you stubborn people who are so far from doing right, for I am ready to set things right. Not in the distant future, but right now. I am ready to save Jerusalem and show my glory to Israel. All right, next chapter, Isaiah chapter 47, a prediction of Babylon's fall. Come down, virgin daughter of Babylon, and sit in the dust, for your days of sitting on a throne have ended. O daughter of Babylonia, never again will you be the lovely princess, tender and delicate. Take heavy millstones and grind flour. Remove your veil and strip off your robe. Expose yourself to public view. You will be naked and burdened with shame. I will take vengeance against you without pity. Our Redeemer, whose name is Yahuwah, the Lord of heaven's armies, is the Holy One of Israel. O beautiful Babylon, sit now in darkness and silence. Never again will you be known as the Queen of Kingdoms. For I was angry with my chosen people and punished them by letting them fall into your hands. But you, Babylon, showed them no mercy. You oppressed even the elderly. You said, I will reign forever as the queen of the world. You did not reflect on your actions or think about their consequences. Listen to this, you pleasure loving kingdom, living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I am the only one and there is no other. I will never be a widow or lose my children. Well, both of these things will come upon you in a moment, widowhood and the loss of your children. Yes, these calamities will come upon you despite all your witchcraft and magic. You felt secure in your wickedness. No one sees me, you said, but your wisdom and knowledge have led you astray. And you have said, I am the only one, and there is no other. So disaster will overtake you, and you won't be able to charm it away. Calamity will fall upon you, and you won't be able to buy your way out. A catastrophe will strike you suddenly, one for which you were not prepared. Now use your magical charms. Use the spells you have worked at all these years. Maybe they will do you some good. Maybe they can make someone afraid of you. All the advice you received has made you tired. Where are all your astrologers, those who stargaze, who make predictions each month? Let them stand up and save you from what the future holds. But they are like straw burning in a fire. They cannot save themselves from the flame. You will get no help from them at all. Their hearth is no place to sit for warmth, and all your friends, those with whom you've done business since childhood, will go their own ways, turning a deaf ear to your cries. All right, y'all. Last chapter for today, Isaiah chapter 48. Yahuwah's stubborn people. Listen to me, O family of Jacob, you who are called by the name of Israel. and born into the family of Judah. Listen, you who take the oaths in the name of Yahuwah and call on the God of Israel, you don't keep your promises, even though you call yourself the holy city, and talk about depending on the God of Israel, whose name is Yahuwah, the Lord of heaven's armies. Long ago, I told you what was going to happen. Then suddenly, I took action, and all my predictions came true. For I know how stubborn and obstinate you are. Your necks are as unbending as iron, your heads are as hard as bronze. That is why I told you what would happen. I told you beforehand what I was going to do. Then you could never say, my idols did it. My wooden image and my metal God commanded it to happen. You have heard my predictions and seen them fulfilled, but you refuse to admit to it. Now I will tell you new things, secrets you have not heard. They are brand new, not things from the past, so you cannot say we knew that all the time. Yes, I will tell you of things that are entirely new, things you never heard before. For I know so well what traitors you are. You have been rebels from birth. Yet for my own sake and for the honor of my name, I will hold back my anger and not wipe you out. I have refined you, but not as silver is refined. Rather, I have refined you in the furnace of suffering. And that right there, a preach in itself, right? And that is just about always how Yahuwah begins to refine us, right? We said a lot of times we are refined and made better. If we ain't burnt up, we'll come out as diamonds, go in as a lump of coal, and we'll come out as a diamond or some precious metal if we allow that heat and that fire to refine us, right? And it's always been his way. That has always been his way to refine his people, laying a smack down, right? I have refined, let me go back up. Verse 9. Yet for my own sake and for the honor of my name, I will hold back my anger and not wipe you out. I have refined you, but not as silver is refined. Rather, I have refined you in the furnace of suffering. I will rescue you for my sake. Yes, for my own sake. I will not let my reputation be tarnished, and I will not share my glory with idols. Freedom from Babylon. Listen to me, O family of Jacob, Israel, my chosen one. I alone am God, the first and the last. And like I was saying yesterday, just pay attention to how much Yahuwah repeats himself, letting them know that everything else y'all worshiping, everybody else y'all crying out to, how is that going for you? How they help you? They saved you, any of you, at any time, right? Yeah, that should prove to you that I alone am God, right? Listen to me, O family of Jacob, Israel, my chosen one. I alone am God, the first and the last. It was my hand that laid the foundations of the earth, my right hand that spread out the heavens above. When I call out the stars, they all appear in order. Have any of your idols ever told you this? Come, all of you, and listen. Yahuwah has chosen Cyrus as his ally. He will use him to put an end to the Babylonian Empire and to destroy the Babylonian armies. I have said it, I am calling Cyrus. I will send him on this errand and will help him succeed. Come closer and listen to this. From the beginning, I have told you plainly what would happen. And now, the sovereign Lord and his spirit have sent me with this message. This is what Yahuwah said, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. I am Yahuwah, your God, who teaches you what is good for you and leads you along the paths you should follow. Oh, that you had listened to my commands, then you would have had peace flowing like a gentle river and righteousness rolling over you like waves in a sea. Your descendants would have been like the sands along the seashore, too many to count. There would have been no need for your destruction or for cutting off your family name. Yet even now, be free from your captivity. Leave Babylon and the Babylonians. Sing out this message. Shout it to the ends of the earth. Yahuwah has redeemed his servants, the people of Israel. They were not thirsty when he led them through the desert. He divided the rock, and water gushed out for them to drink. But there is no peace for the wicked, says Yahuwah. All right. Yeah, right. Dana said, "Oh, dang." She said first and last. That hit differently. It do, right? When we go back and we actually read it for ourselves, it begin to hit a little differently than with somebody else trying to teach it to you. Joy, shalom, grand rising. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead over here. Pick up where we left off at yesterday in Fossilized Customs. What time we at? I really gotta watch the time today because I do. I need to make sure my strength is up. I got an early appointment this morning. Okay, so we're definitely gonna have to make sure we don't go over the time today. All right, y'all. So let's see, 213. Okay, yeah, page 213. We were talking about the tithing yesterday when we left off, and being able to support yourself. Okay, so this is still talking about, as a matter of fact, for the next couple pages. For the next couple pages, it's still elaborating on that. Also talking about like the Sabbath distance and staying in your house on the Sabbath. Okay, page 213, down in the middle of the page. How each of us gets out there and spreads the message of the reign of Yahuwah, immersing others in his name, should be facilitated by the specific gift we have been given by Yahuwah's Spirit, not molded after a man-made technique. All people on earth should be able to hear the message, and it should be carried to them for free as we allow Yahuwah to do his wonderful work through all of us who believe and obey. He is working in many people from all walks of life. We have to rely on the ability of the message reaching others through the power of Yahuwah's Spirit by teaching the pure truth of the message so it will be able to be conveyed through many others. We who know the message of the reign of Yahuwah must live in it and share it with any who would. I'm sorry. We who know the message of the reign of Yahuwah must live in it and share it with as many as who will accept it. We share a common responsibility, and the assistant pastors from time to time travel and visit distant places should be housed and fed by the brothers at their destination, but they must not be an undue burden or overstay their welcome. I know well the costs involved in printing and keeping this kind of ministry paying its bills. We labor in we labor in the harvest not only with our money, but with our personal efforts to reach those lost around us. We don't necessarily have to travel to find them, but the message itself can span great distances. Not by power, nor by might, but by my spirit, declares Yahuwah. The lie has become the thing that is believed by most in the Christian domination. I'm sorry. The lie has become the thing that is believed by most in today's Christian denominations. It is taught that a person will still enter the kingdom and have a close relationship with Yahuwah without having to obey his covenant marriage vows because they believe that Yahusha's death paid for all their sins, past, present, and future. We're talking about deliberate sins. Their consciences have become seared because even though they may be confronted with a specific marriage vow or commandment, they will tell you it was nailed to the cross. Once in the renewed covenant, a believing follower has no interest in sin. Hold on. Once in the renewed covenant, a believing follower has no interest in sin because they now walk in the mind of the Spirit. They have to receive a love for the Torah. A repentant person turns away from what is offensive to their Maker, which includes pagan customs. They don't return to their sin as a washed pig returns to a mud puddle. Do we then nullify the law through faith? May it never be. On the contrary, we establish the law, and that's found in Romans 3 and 31. What shall we say then? Are we to continue in sin that grace might increase? May it never be. How shall we who died to sin still live in it? Romans 6, verses 1 and 2. So you stop celebrating birthdays, Christmas, Easter, and stay home and rest on the Sabbath, teaching your children the way of Torah. Then a close relative wants to bring a cake to your house for one of your children's birthdays and celebrate with them. Gross idolatry in parentheses. This is where the rubber meets the road. Do you love Yahuwah more than your parents, brothers, and sisters? They may remain unconverted in their hearts and don't even begin to understand why you've changed so. They may blame this book or claim that you have been look, they may blame this book or claim you have become involved in a cult. Don't expect them to understand because the unconverted human is hostile towards Yahuwah. For those who are according to the flesh, set their mind. Hold on. Let me make sure I was reading it right. Okay. For those who are according to the flesh, set their mind on the things of. I'm still reading it wrong. Hold on. For those who are according to the flesh, set their minds on the things of the flesh. But those who are according to the spirit, the things of the spirit. Okay. I just had to make sure I'm reading it right with the commas. It sounds wrong if you're reading it wrong, not paying attention to the commas. Okay. For those who are according to the flesh, set their minds on the things of the flesh. But those who are according to the spirit, the things of the spirit. And it has in parentheses, the commandments are spiritual. For the mind set on the flesh is death, but the mind set on the spirit is life and peace, because the mind set on the flesh is hostile towards Yahuwah, for it does not subject itself to the law of Yahuwah, for it is not even able to do so.
Good morning. How you feeling?
I'm good. I ain't gonna fall out. Cheers.
I know. And I check on you.
I appreciate it. And those who are in the flesh cannot please Yahuwah. However, you are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If indeed the spirit of Yahuwah dwells in you. But if anyone does not have the spirit of Yahuwah, he does not belong to him. You want to ride with me to the inspection? It's at 8:30. Come on, Mama. It's just like 30 minutes. Okay. Yeah, they made that. That was the only time she could get today. Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I can do it. All right. Note here, the spirit of Yahuwah is synonymous with the spirit of Mashiach. So Yahusha is Yahuwah, and he is the spirit, and Yahuwah is one. I'm sorry, and Yahuwah is one, Yahuwah. There is no other Elohim with him. So let me just explain this again because I read it out loud, right? He is based on him teaching from the New Testament. In the New Testament, there is the character Yahusha, which seems to be a separate person from Yahuwah himself, which we can clearly see if we read the Old Testament. And that's where our biggest issues come in at. Because the way the New Testament reads, and the way that it is taught in the Christian church, you got two conflicting things going on, right? Because if you read the New Testament yourself, you would see, okay, there's JC, or some name him Yahusha, and then there is Yahuwah, right? Because we can clearly see when we read the New Testament that JC, he prays, right? When he prayed, does he pray to himself? No, he's not praying to himself. He's praying to someone other than him, right? So if you are a person here alive in the flesh, how can you be the same person you're praying to? That would seem to be overreaching what you would be doing. You would kind of seem like a nutcase, right? If you are God, yet you're praying to yourself, but you're actually getting down on your knees and you're doing this prayer. You're talking. You're doing actions that show us that you're talking to someone else and not yourself. And when I'm talking to myself, I mean, a lot of times you don't see that, right? Because it's like inward conversation going on. But when I'm talking to Yah, that's an outward conversation. Sometimes I have it inwardly, but in other times when I'm reverence, I'm getting down on my knees and I'm clearly praying to someone other than me. And that's what the actions show in the New Testament, right? So the New Testament shows one thing, but yet it's taught that JC is God, right? And that's this is a whole nother level of conflicting information based on what we're hearing and what we're reading, right? So the way he teaches from that standpoint, right? And it to me it's still a complete oxymoron. And like I said, I'm still waiting for an update of this book for him to fix all of that, right? So the way he teaches is it's still the paganism, the Christian doctrine that he is bringing out, but that's still lumped into that one big like block moat, a piece of wood in your eye. He's saying that Yahusha is Yahuwah, right? So he's teaching from the standpoint when he says Yahusha, he wants to use them interchangeably. Like you can say Pam and PJ Sparkles, you can use that interchangeably with me because you're still talking about the same person. That's still me, you know. But the way he teaches, he's using them interchangeably, but he's still saying that this is the son of Yah, right? You got to make up your mind. It cannot be both. Like Trina said, you can't be Loretta and Loretta's daughter too, right? Remember, nature, everything that we can see in this 3D realm here will it you can test everything based on what we can see in this realm. You can test it in nature, right? Even with plants, I can take a cutting of a plant, right? And technically, I can take a cutting of that plant and I can propagate a new plant. And technically, it is that plant because I've taken it from it, but clearly it's what we begin to propagate. It's its own different set. Even like when you have children. Yes, I am Pam and children come from me. Yes, they belong to me, but they're different, right? And so I can't be Bella and Pam at the same time. Bella comes from me, right? So that's where the confusion comes in a lot. And a lot of people don't really get too clear on that. So if you're going to read the New Testament, you make sure you're reading it from the proper perspective, understand. And when you begin to do that, you're going to start asking a bunch of questions. And some people just put it away altogether, right? I'll still go to it from time to time when I'm showing people stuff. We're proving some things. Okay, this originated here, here, right? Even these people here in the New Testament, all they had was Torah, you know. So are we any better than them? No, all we really need is Torah as well. We don't need to now substitute this for this. And when in their day, they didn't have this, all they had was this. And what we're telling you is go back to this everybody was using, right? But there seems to be a problem with people. So like I said, that's why I bring it out, because he still say Yahuwah is Yahusha, but it's still confusing with what he's saying, right? And we constantly read, even last few days, Yahuwah said, it's me and me alone. Ain't nobody with me, right? And he didn't come. And here, I know this gonna sound like complete blasphemy to people, because this is what's pushed in the church. Yahuwah said, I am not man that I should lie, and neither am I the son of man that I should have need to repent, which means he is not flesh and blood, right? He specifically said that. He's not flesh and blood. How do we reconcile that when we begin to say he came? You matter of fact, it tells you everybody that don't confess that Yahuwah has come in flesh and blood, let them be accursed, or they are antichrist. How are you antichrist well, I guess you can call it antichrist because we are against that theory of the Christ you're talking about. So yeah, we would fall into that category being antichrist, right? Because we are Yahuwah alone. Because Yahuwah says, I am not man that I should lie, right? We're man. We've been known to lie, right? And we've been known to have to repent constantly, which is why we need Yah, right? I am not man that I should lie, neither am I the son of man that I should have need to repent, right? He ain't flesh and blood. He don't need to lock himself into the realm where he locked us into so we can find our way back to him, right? He ain't never sinned. It was us. And for that, there's consequences for that, i.e., the realms that we were able to walk in simultaneously have been divided, and we have been completely locked in this flesh. And when we can control this this flesh, we can begin operating in the spiritual realm, right? And the worlds begin to merge together. The two become one. You can see that principle with husband and wife. We can see it in anything, right? So I just want to make that clear. Every time we come across it, because I know some people are like, oh yeah, I can't listen to her no more. She denied the Savior. I'm not. My Savior is Yahuwah alone. I would never push anybody away from him, but I want to make sure we're reading things with clarity and people are not playing on your emotions and your ignorance because you don't read. So we take the time to read every day, line by line, word for word, precept upon precept. You will say here a little, there a little, right? Okay, I just want to bring that point out. So I'm gonna skip this next scripture that he uses from Romans 8, 5, and 11. It talks about Mashiach being in you because he was raised from the dead. Clearly, I just spent time explaining that. That's not true. That's a little bit of leaven added to the loaf. Yahuwah is in you. When you turn to Yah, it's not like this separate entity who drives you. It's always Yahuwah. Even the good that we experience and all the different things that we attribute to other gods or other people who we label as God somewhere down the way, just like Yahuwah said, he said, I'm doing this, I'm telling you ahead of time, so you can't say, oh, my God did that for me, or my God told me that. No, it's always been me. All that we have ever gotten is because of Yahuwah and Yahuwah alone, right? And even when we attribute those good things to other people, because in our ignorance, we think that's God or that's his name, and so that's what we do. We a little bit ignorant. That don't be ignorant for too long, right? But when we realize it, when I realize it, and all those things that I used to say, thank you, Jesus, or thank you, Holy Spirit, thank you for that. As I grew and over the last couple of years, when you who was like, it's me, it's been me all the time, right? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, right? So now you no longer hear me saying thank you, Jesus, or thank you, Holy Spirit, for that. It's always thank you, y'all, because it doesn't matter how it manifests, it's always him. No matter what resource it comes to us, right? Or even the information downloaded to us, it's always him, right? So y'all and y'all alone. Thank you, y'all. Thank you, right? Okay, so that like I said, I'm skipping over this. So Mashiach in you, Yahuwah in you, right? And it's not yeah, I explained that enough. So let me just go ahead. Romans 8 verses 5 through 11. Read context, because Paul is explaining how the renewed covenant actually works in chapter 6, 7, and 8 of Romans. Look at it like this. If I am trying to trick you and I'm really doing the bidding of the adversary, would I be trying to point you in the direction of obedience so that you will be condemned? Or maybe it can be said that now obeying the commandments will get us into trouble with he who gave us these commandments. I will tell you this. Even if a servant obeys out of fear, not love, his master will not punish him. But we have received love, not fear. Now we can obey in the renewed covenant, having Yahuwah's spirit within us, having his Torah written on our hearts. The same vows or commandments will stand forever and ever because they reflect the personality of Yahuwah. It is we who have changed, right? And clearly, yes, let all praises go to the most holy Lisha, right? So, and you will notice that some people ask, well, what's different? Some people truly want to know, well, what can you tell that's different from before when you was all gun-ho, thank you, Jesus, Holy Spirit, all that, to now? Like, what's different? What can you really tell is different? I'll tell you. First of all, I can tell that my prayers, and although I heard from y'all before, it seems like a level of fog has been lifted, And although I was getting results then, but it's like, as you grow and you know better, you do better. Oh, this is how it's supposed to. I've been doing this wrong the whole time. And you was getting some kind of results, but they were like hit and miss. Right. And so like I would kind of liken that to my prayers. They were like hit and miss, So it's like, yeah, that's not working. Or why that's not working. Or even some of my prayers where I pray for people or people that's like on a sick bed and tell you lay hands on people. They're not always laying hands on people, but when I pray, you expect to get results from your prayers, right? So now let me tell you what happens with my prayers, right? Now I'm not just praying ignorantly out of emotion. And granted, sometimes we get scared, and some things it's like, oh, and the thing we know to do immediately is go to pray. Yeah, Father, help, But I've noticed when I go to pray, now I understand what Yahuwah has said in his Torah and different things that we should do and we should not do. First of all, not violating him and not violating our neighbor and not violating ourselves as well, right? First of all, if I need to pray about something, or somebody asks me to pray for them, excuse me, I'll I'll look at the situation. Now, some people say, "Well, just say a prayer for me." I was like, "Okay, if I'm gonna pray for something, tell me what I'm praying for, right? Because I need to make sure that I ain't praying for something that you shouldn't be praying about, right? Not that I'm being nosy, but I'm stingy with my words sometimes, and I'm just not going to throw any kind of prayer out there nowadays. Now that I know better, so say if somebody asks me to pray for them in their healing and their health, right? I'm okay, sis, what's going on? What you got going on? So I make sure we attack this the right way. Now, if she's saying her blood pressure and stuff is going out on whack, or her blood sugar is constantly high, I'm like, now I know what those things stem from, right? And it's simply because I do a lot of studying and I'm in a habit of healing my body, right? Because Yahuwah tells us in the Torah what we should and what we shouldn't eat. We ain't even talking about the meats right now, right? But those things that give life to the body and what things will bring the body down. And if you're having high blood pressure or hypertension, blood sugar is high, that comes from what you're eating. Okay, sis, how your diet? What you doing with your diet? Now, some people start getting pissed with you when you ask them those questions, but I can clearly see that your medical issues is coming from what you're doing to yourself. So I have the wisdom to know that that's what that comes from, and I'm gonna share that with you, right? And my prayer is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to pray that Yah takes away the high blood pressure from you. No, I'm gonna pray that Yah gives you wisdom to learn about your body and what you are doing wrong to cause yourself to go to an early grave. I'm not for praying to miss prayers, right? Let's attack this the appropriate way, right? We'll pray that Yahuwah gives you strength to stick with the decisions you make to make sure you clean up your diet, right? Those prayers we can pray. We'll pray that Yahuwah gives you a support system, somebody that surrounds you, that you can find the resources that's going to help you clean up your life, right? That's what my prayer is going to be for you, right? So that's how I know in the way that I have changed. I began to look at these things. I'm not blindly doing things like I learned how to do a lot of times growing up in the church, right? Not saying that people teach you things wrong on purpose because they really don't, right? They really don't. They teach you what they believe and what they perceive to be the truth at the time of their teaching you. And that's okay. I mean, it's okay, but then again, it's not okay. Baby, Jace, did he have one? Was that his? Can you get him one, please? Get him one. He getting you one, Jackson. Okay, calm down, calm down. He about to go full blown, blow his top. So that's one way that I know I have changed, right? I'm now considering things. Now I understand by actually reading Torah, Torah actually grows you up. It's no longer like, hey, we hanging out in daycare today. It's playground time all day. No, it's time for us to begin to excelling and moving through the grades. And that's what I realize is different, right? And by me doing that with my prayers, by me being stingy with my words, being mindful of what I'm praying about and why I'm praying about something, guess what? My prayers are answered a lot faster, right? Because now I'm following the formula the correct way, right? A lot of like people just pray prayers amiss all the time and get no results, and then you wonder why. And here's a couple people I had prayed for. These was like years ago. Some people that had major health issues. Woman had cancer and stuff, and just different things. I wasn't really understanding a lot about the medical field and our bodies, right? Really how our bodies operate and thrive. And And so it's like, okay, I'm just always praying for, but the prayers, I don't know. Well, clearly the prayers were amiss because she eventually passed away. She went into the grave, but it really hit me hard because now I began to think, I'm like, well, Father, I know I hear from you. I'm like, but you said it's your will that we have abundant life, but she still died and she loved you. But the thing was, she couldn't get her flesh under control. She couldn't get her flesh under control. What she was eating, she couldn't get it under control, which took her to an early grave. No matter how many prayers you pray for people, if they themselves are sabotaging their own selves by not feeding their own body's life, spiritually, physically, and mentally, dropping out. Then it's you really only have one destination, right? Unless your body picks up this your red blood cells and white blood cells, unless your immune system does some miraculous thing on its own, which a lot of times it will not if you're not putting it in the right environment, giving it the right things to thrive and fight off, you're gonna die, right? You are going to die. There is no getting around it. That is not even a spiritual law. That is a natural law that you cannot supersede. The only way you can supersede that natural law is by another natural law, by doing what is right, feeding it life like herbs, fruits, and vegetables to reverse the curse you've inflicted upon yourself and to clean your body out, right? But that takes work. It takes dedication. It takes strength of character. Sometimes you need to join, do fast with people. Hey, you can do this, keep going, right? Sometimes you don't have it. Sometimes you just got to pull it from within yourself because it may not always be somebody there that can help you. You have to learn to be strengthened and trust on Yah and Yah alone, right? And so when you do that, you just got to keep going, taking steps. As long as you're taking steps to move ahead, you will see results and your body will begin to heal. So that's one thing, right? I noticed what's different. My prayers are not really hit and miss anymore. If I pray about something and I don't get the result, okay, am I missing some information here, right? Or is this premature, right? Because some things you can pray about can be premature, right? It's just like a child growing. There are certain things you can't get until you're of age. Not that we don't trust you with it, but we don't trust you with it because you're too young. You're not able to observe all the situations going around you. You need a little more growth. You need a little more information. You need a little more experience just being present, being there, right? To be able to handle this level, right? So some things are premature. You can pray for it all you want, but until it's time for your teeth to come in, the teeth gonna come in when they're ready to come in. When the body sees that you're a little bit older now, okay, we don't need liquids so much all the time. Let's start pushing out some teeth, right? Your body, we have no control over that, right? So some things we pray about, we could be praying about them prematurely, and they're not gonna come. Even if you're praying, if you're not ready for it for 10 years, it ain't gonna come for 10 years, no matter how much you pray, right? It doesn't mean that your prayer was wrong or that was off. It's simply premature. It's not the time, right? So I began to understand all these things just in prayer alone, right? Just simply from reading the Torah and how Yahuwah operates and how he wants us to be responsible children and to pay attention. Wake up. Think about what you're thinking about. Pay attention to this. Everything that you need, I have put great teachers in nature all the way around everything. You can see all of this. So those are the things that I noticed. That's what's different, i.e., my life grows, it gets richer, my understanding develops, right? I'm not this babe in Christ, so to speak. That's a term. I'm not this baby anymore, right? I can see growth in myself. I can see discipline in myself, whereas I will read my Bible hit and miss. Now it's just a habit that I've created because of my own discipline, being hard on myself to do it. I have to hold myself accountable, right? And so those things are different. I've learned how I self sabotage myself, and I have to think of ways to put things in place so I don't allow myself ways out or ways to squirm out of something that I know I need to do or that needs to get done, even though I may not feel like it, or it may be humbling for me, or it may be um it may not feel so good, but it has to be done. There's no way around this. I just got to put on my big girl panties and get it done, right? So those are things that are different. Those things that I notice I've seen change, right? Prayers are answered faster. I can see growth all the way around in my life, and it's just a whole host of things, right? So that's what I notice is different, and doing it with and I don't know, and just relating to y'all alone and not being scattered in my thoughts on where my help truly comes from. Okay, I'm praying. Okay, Father, I'm praying to you, but I gotta come to you in the name of JC and the power of the Holy Spirit. Wait, okay, so who do I address? Do I address you? Because if I just address you, then I'm ignoring them. But if I'm addressing them, it seems like I'm ignoring you. Like all of these things, all that brain fog and confusion went away, right? So I know it's you and you alone, and I can come directly to you because this is what they did. We're gonna follow this example, right? And that it just works. You know, you don't have to believe me when I say that, just test it, right? I'm a true believer, test everything, right? So guys, we have to pause this right here. I just looked at the time, it is 8:09. I have to be there at 8:30 today. So we're gonna go ahead and pause this right here, right? Where the last sentence we read, it is we who have changed, right? And I think I'm gonna use this for my title today. It'll be up in a little while because I'm gonna have to hurry up and get out of here. That's gonna be our title. It is we who have changed. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me today, for putting up with my slow speaking. I'm realizing I'm gonna have to get some coconut water, right? My electrolytes or something might be low. So you gotta learn if you're doing a water fast, learn to listen to your body. You can watch all the videos on YouTube and read everything, but when you actually put it into practice, your body is a whole different dynamic from everybody else that's doing fast, you know. So be good to your body. Pay attention. Don't keep pushing along if your body is giving you signals. Hey, slow down. Wait a minute. It's just like the check engine light in your car. I know some of us, we just kind of cover it up, or we ignore it, or if we hear sounds or hear the engine puttering or something, we turn the music up. We learning how not to ignore the problems. Let's not ignore the red flags, or we hear the puttering in the car, turn the music up. Let's not do that, because those are things that will lead us to an early grave, right? So when you're fast, listen to your own body. If you feel like you're missing something, it probably is. If you don't really want to break it from water, if you're doing water, go to coconut water. Coconut water is the best thing. You can actually read. You can Google coconut water is the closest thing to our blood plasma, right? And back, I think it was World War II, World War One. One of the wars, a couple different things, they realized that they actually used coconut water to infuse directly into some of the soldiers, like a blood transfusion, right? Until they were able to get IVs, but it works. Coconut water has everything your body needs. So if you're water fasting and those get low, you don't have to worry about that doing a juice fast, because everything you're going to get is coming from that's natural fruits and juices that you juice, not the store bought. Don't do them. You know, if at all possible, stay away from them. Do everything fresh, because the fruits have what our bodies were designed to have, right? So do coconut water if you're doing water. You don't really want to introduce juice or anything to your water fast. Coconut water is the best thing. And some people do water fast using coconut water alone, and that's okay too. You know, I'm doing straight water, but I thought about doing coconut water. You know, if you don't like the taste of coconut water, hey, put a lime in a coconut, shake it all up, right? Drink it all up. It's good. It's depending on what type of coconut water you have. If you don't get the fresh young coconuts where you actually popping them open yourself, there are some good versions out there. You can just, like I said, lime will kind of kill some of that milky texture, but it's not milky for real. Just depending on what kind you get. Some of them are really good and refreshing. Like I like the mojo. It's really good. You don't really have to add add lime to that. But even when you do, it just makes it more refreshing. So, um, yeah, listen to your body, follow your body, be good to your body, adjust it if you need to. I learned that the hard way, by not doing that my last fast towards the end, right? And I brought in some I kind of went over and above what my sister told me to do. She said, Pam, get a little bit. She said, your potassium is probably low. She said, get a little bit of pickle juice. Matter of fact, I was at her house. She said, take a shot of this. And when I drunk it, I could tell like the electrolytes or whatever it is in pickle juice, yo, like it immediately brought life to my body. I was like, oh my gosh, that's definitely what I needed, right? So, but I went a little overboard with that because I love pickles and I like pickle juice. But mind you, I had already been 35 days water fasting when I had to introduce that into my system. Yeah, I went to the store after I left my sister's house. I got a couple jars of pickles simply so I can drink the pickle juice off. What I was not paying attention to was the high sodium content. And what happened, I did videos. It was crazy. I didn't know what was happening. Long story short, it drove my blood pressure up, right? And I couldn't understand what was going on with me, like my entire body. I was stinging over my entire body because it was literally like I just introduced a bunch of salt into my system. I should have just stuck with my sister. What she said, that's all you need, just that, right? But I was like, ooh, that's good. Not realizing what I was doing. I wasn't thinking, right? So don't do that. Don't use pickle juice. Do coconut water. Coconut water will not do that to you. And it has all the electrolytes, vitamins, minerals that your body will need while you're fasting. So if you start doing it with the coconut water from the beginning, you may never have any problems throughout the fast anyway. So that's why I said I'm going to probably get that coconut water today sooner than later, especially since we're about to go out here to this, So with that being said, y'all, pay attention to the body. Listen to your body and grow daily, right? All right, so that was Fossilized Customs. We read page 213 to page 215. We read Isaiah 46, 47, and 48. It is Wednesday, July the 7th, 2021, day 200 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. And of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 869. Yes, Joe, I love coconut oil too, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this blessing real quick because we have got to go. Okay, babe, I'm ready. I'm just closing this out. All right. All right, so the blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. Remember, the first 21 verses is a Nazarite vow, man or woman can take it. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and unto his son, saying, on this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, may Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. Okay, y'all. I don't think there's any questions. Oh, yeah, Alicia, I saw your comment. You got me over here so hyped up. I've been saying this for the last 2 years. Pray specifically and not for the roof. Oh, yeah, you was talking about the prayers and how I adjust my prayer. Yeah, people got to understand what they're really praying about, right? Okay, y'all. So I love y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.